Do you remember the last time you bought a course, a product, a coaching program from someone? Can you think back about that and think, why did you buy? What was the moment when you decided to buy? What led you to that decision to finally make a decision to invest? And if I think back about that, there are obviously many factors. But one of the factors that really lead you to the decision more often than not, it's seeing the testimonials, seeing the results from people who've used the same method, who worked with that coach, with that person, with that expert, and they achieved great results. So, seeing testimonials, seeing social proof, seeing amazing results from other people like yourself, this is ultimately what leads to easier sales, it leads to more trust, and it leads to better results for clients. So, in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how to receive amazing testimonials. So, how to accelerate trust, how to create this social proof for yourself. So, selling makes it easier, so you can get better clients, and we're going to dive right into that. I'm going to talk about three parts: how to ask for a testimonial, and also how to present them, how to use them so they actually create the social proof. Believe it or not, a lot of people are not utilizing testimonials in the most powerful way. There is a huge difference between posting like a screenshot of somebody writing to you a message like, hey, it's been great working with you, thank you for your service, versus presenting like a whole case study. So in this episode, we're going to dive into all of that, and I'm happy to share with you my experience because in my previous business, in my current in business consulting, I use the power of testimonials. I know how they are valuable. I know how to create more of them and how to use them. So I'm happy to share with you all my takeaways and all my strategies that work. Welcome to the Business Mindset Style Podcast, a show for women in business who want to make an impact, grow a profitable online business, all while living a rich life filled with freedom and fulfillment. So testimonials are one of the most powerful marketing tools in order to sell, in order to promote your offer. If you've noticed in the current online world, like 2025 going into 2026, you've probably seen that people are taking longer to invest. They are asking more questions. They are taking more time. They are watching you out. They're checking you out. And that is because the trust has been undermined, and it's like they say, we are in the trust recession process. We are in the trust recession world. So buyers are discerning, they are more sophisticated, they are more skeptical, they want proof. It's one thing you saying that, hey, I'm a great coach, I have 10 years of experience, I've been working in this niche for so many years, I've been published, I've been this and that. It's one thing to stack up what you say about yourself, and it's another thing to show the real proof, show what other people are saying about yourself. And if you're talking about high level clients, so those are the clients, I call them sometimes premium clients, sometimes dream clients. Basically, those are the clients who want to work with you specifically. They are ready to invest big in time, money, and energy. Those are literally the dream clients who come, do the work, they're a pleasure to work with, they leave raving reviews and testimonials, and they are basically the clients you want to attract. And if you're selling high ticket, those are the high level clients you want for your offers. So they usually buy because they see your expertise through the results of other people. They see your expertise through what other people are saying about you. They also buy because they want to minimize the risk. So high level clients, they really care about the time. They care about the money too. They care about who they associate themselves with. But more than anything, they really care about the time. They're really protective about their time, their energy, and they want to make sure that they're going to succeed in getting the results. That's why creating more proof, creating more testimonials help you accelerate the trust, helps them to see that you are the expert that will help them to fast track this path to the result that they want. So If you've seen my previous business in when I was running the style coaching school, you've probably seen hundreds of testimonials, a lot of videos, a lot of reviews from my past clients, and I was very intentional about building that. Right now, I also in my business consulting and coaching business, I also use the power of testimonials because I know that if anything, if I need to focus on only one thing, that's literally delivering results to my clients and creating those amazing testimonials. So let's talk about when to ask for a testimonial and why you actually need to ask. So, the prerogative about testimonials in general, when we're talking about when to ask, how to ask, da da da, all of that makes sense. All of that, like, there are strategies that make it important, but more than anything, the foundation of great testimonials is delivering great work to your clients, not just like I've done the minimum, I've done what needed to be done, and I hope they leave me a review. No, it's actually creating a real connection with people. It's about delivering great service, delivering great results, going above and beyond, and really making sure that you are doing to the best of your ability to help your client achieve their desire that they want to achieve. And in my previous business, it was especially apparent. So I had two parts of my business. I had the courses, they were self-study, and I had the coaching program, which was premium coaching program where there was a lot of personalization, there was high touch, there were coaching calls every week where I was coaching women. So you can see that those are two very different products, and the testimonials I could get from those products, they are being created differently, obviously. So if we talk about courses, if you're doing that, if you're running anything self-study where people go through the product themselves, they learn by themselves, this is where you want to be very clear about what you're putting inside your product. So if you're working with people one-on-one or in a small group container, this is where you can always like know what's the temperature of the room, what's going on. You can always adapt. You can always like kind of help people in a specific moment. But when it's self-study, it's a little bit more tricky. So there is a lot of work kind of behind the scenes to really think about what has to go into this course, what has to go into this program, at which stage clients can get stuck, what kind of questions and mindset issues and whatnot I have to address in the course so they're not going to be stuck there by themselves. How can I motivate them to go to the very end? How can I make sure they get wins at the very beginning? So when it comes to courses, you really want to think about all of those little milestones and details and creating those wins for people because they're basically leading themselves by themselves. So when I was creating those courses, this obviously it helps when you have a lot of experience. So when you work with a lot of people, you're seeing very well through just experience or where they get stuck, what kind of questions they have, where some blocks arrive. Is it at the very beginning? Is it like midway? Is it at this particular challenge that they need to solve? So you put all of this in the course. This is what I've done, and all the courses that I've created, basically all my clients were saying, they're so explicit, they're so detailed. It's like I don't think I have any other questions that come to me because it's all addressed in the course. And the important distinction here, it doesn't mean that you have to put everything inside your course. You actually don't want to overwhelm your people as well. You want them to get to the result. So you want to think very strategically, what's the fastest way to get them to the result? You don't want to dump all your knowledge and everything you know into the course, but you want to provide enough depth, enough detail, enough strategy information that they need in order to get to the result. So this is one part when we're talking specifically about self-study. You want to provide in-depth course that addresses all the challenges. You want to lead people to the result. And then second part, you want to ask people for a testimonial. So in the courses, it was a little bit more automated for me. I would not personally reach out to people because they were like hundreds and thousands of people. So that would be just an automated email asking people to just write me, not even a review, but just, hey, you've been going through the program. Can you just reach out to me and send me a DM on Instagram? Instagram, sharing what's the experience, what you've learned, what's been the number one thing that you have achieved so far. So this really helps to ask people, because clients, more often than not, they don't naturally give testimonials. It's just, think about yourself. How many times you just take the time out of your day and reach out to someone and send them a testimonial? More often than not, especially if you're not an entrepreneur where you understand the power of testimonials, you would not naturally do that. So more often than not, clients need leadership. So you want to proactively ask for that, and it's your responsibility as a leader is to make it effortless. So I would ask those by kind of automated way, through as part of the course, and then I would always highlight them. I would always showcase them on my Instagram. And the more people see that, the more other people, the more other clients inside my world are inclined to share as well. So I remember it happened so many times. I would share, hey, I just got this message from a client who sent me pictures how she created her outfits for winter. And then somebody else would reach out. Oh, actually, I've just watched your winter training as well, and it really helped me as well. This is da-da-da, what I created. So it kind of creates this snowball effect. So this is when it comes to courses. If you are not running the courses, but you are working one-on-one with people, you are delivering a service, you are running coaching sessions, you are running coaching programs, usually the way you ask for testimonials and how you get them is slightly different, because this is where you are in communication with your client. You have this in-person connection. This is where you know each other. This is a little bit more where you're not really automating it, but you are proactively, personally asking people to do that. So when you can ask for a testimonial, if you are working closely with people one-on-one or through group coaching programs, so where you have relationship with people. You can ask after a major win. So you work with people maybe continuously or a period of few months, and they will share with you, hey, it just happened. I've just done this, or something they share with you. So you want to ask right away, oh, that's amazing. Do you mind if I share that in my stories? Do you mind if I share it in with my email list? So you can ask it right away on the coaching session if it's one-on-one, or you can write an email after. So you can do that. Here, you don't want to think about something like, oh, it has to be something major, like a huge milestone or something so big that, oh, they achieved the whole result that I promised. They achieved the whole transformation. No, it could be something like less of a huge transformation. It could be just like this week's win, a small insight. Oh, I've just, like, for example, if you're a career coach and you have a client who is, and like a lot of your clients, they, for example, have a challenge of working in an environment that is a little bit toxic, and they are struggling with reacting to that, and it really affects their mood and their performance. And the client, maybe they worked with you for a month, and then one day they come to you and they say, hey, I just had this and I did not get triggered. I did not get triggered. It did not affect my performance that day. I was actually calm and composed because of the strategy that you taught me, because of the mindset shift. So it's not like the whole transformation, but it's a quick win. You want to capture that as well. You want to share that as well. So it doesn't have to be major transformation when you ask for a testimonial. It could be something smaller as well. That's very powerful as well, because it helps people to really see that as well. Because big testimonials are great. Oh, I've built my six-figure business, or I've achieved like this full transformation. But it also kind of, you want quick wins and to share those from your people, because it instantly illustrates, oh, if I start working with you next month, I can already reframe my mindset. Amazing. So it's like very easy for people to imagine, and they're like, okay, I want that right now. So you can ask for a testimonial after a major win, after a small win. You can ask at some midpoint. So for example, you have 3-month coaching container and you do an evaluation midway, and you ask for their review, for their testimonial. You can ask after a program completion. as well. So somebody went through the whole process and you've seen their transformation, so you can ask them after the program completion. Usually it's better to ask when it's hot, when it's still warm, not half a year later, but you've just worked with somebody, you've completed 3 months, 6 months working together, so you want to ask right away. You've just finished the work, and so it's like fresh in their mind. They've just been going through the whole process, so you ask right away. It could be after they share a win with you, maybe in the DMs, in the message. So basically, when you see something like, oh, this is amazing, I'm so happy to hear that. Can I actually share this with my audience? So testimonials don't need to be after everything, after the complete full transformation, after they achieve absolutely everything. It doesn't have to be like that. It could be in between, it could be with small wins. Those are very powerful as well. You always want to also capture the client's messages, what they write to you. Of course, you don't just publish without the permission. Permission is very, very important. You want to retain the trust. You don't want to share anything without the permission of a client. But screenshot that and just so you have that at your fingerprints. Could be your brand trust bank, for example. So the next part that we're gonna cover, just covered when to ask for testimonials, and now we're gonna cover how to ask for testimonials. And a lot of times people are going with the assumption that, oh, I'm doing amazing work, and then people just shall write to me a testimonial. And honestly, on one hand, yes, like you want to do great work for sure. That's kind of like the foundation of great testimonials. But at the same time, you want to be proactively asking for those testimonials because people are busy. Even though they loved you, working with you, you would deliver the transformation. They're just living busy lives. Maybe their child got sick, something like is going on at work. Maybe there is something is going on. There is a travel or something. So people are living very busy lives. It's not their job to think about that, to take the time out of their day. So it's literally your job to proactively ask for that. There's nothing like begging or anything, none of that energy. So you just want to ask because you know of the power of the meaning behind getting those testimonials. And when you ask for a testimonial, you don't want to just ask, hey, Anna, can you write me a testimonial? You don't want to do that because most people, again, are busy, and also people don't really have either a habit or a structure. What's a good testimonial? What would be a meaningful testimonial? So you want to provide some sort of framework or structure so you have amazing testimonials and they really create the proof. They're not something like, oh, it's been great working with Nina, recommend to everyone. Does it sound powerful to you? Not really. It's like, well, okay, probably she's okay, but it doesn't give me the detail, the insight. I have no idea what it means. Mina is great. I don't know. There is no context. There is no detail. There is no insight into that. So here are a few prompts that you can use when you are asking for a testimonial. Few questions. Usually, like in the big picture, you just usually want to identify what was before they came working with you, how was the work together, what was special for them, what they liked, what were the highlights, and how their life or the specific area you helped them improve, how it is now. Basically, those three big areas you want to touch upon. The questions could be something like, what was going on before working with me? Or share with me a little bit, how was your business before we came working together? Or like, give me a little update, share with me a little bit of the context. How was your situation at work before you came coaching with me? That's the first part. So then you want to ask about, okay, you can also ask about, okay, what made you decide about working with me? That's powerful because you want to also look for yourself for those shifts. What was it that made the decision? Is it something in their life? Is it something you shared? Is it a specific offer? Is it seeing more proof, or what was it? Why did they make the decision? Because it can also speak to other women who are waiting for the right moment, and this can spark for them what is actually that right moment. So then you want to ask about, okay, we worked with you for 3 months together. Can you share with me what was the most insightful, what was the most impactful part for you? So you kind of like guide them. You don't ask them for like absolutely everything. Can you just talk about our work together? You kind of direct them a little bit more, but not pinpoint, not really like bogging down into like one specific area, but like narrowing it down a little bit. So maybe they're gonna share that, hey, for me, the number one win together while working together was this and that, and I really appreciated that we have this and that, for example. So that's great. You want those specificity, you want those specific details. Then you wanna talk about the results. Talk to me about what's the number one results that you achieved and how does it feel? Here you want to tackle the analytical part. Okay, what's the ROI, the return on investment of this time of the 3 month working together? What was very specific that you achieved? Maybe they got a promotion, maybe they resolved conflict, maybe they found the love of their life, maybe they finally created the business, or whatever it is. You want to speak to that result, something very specific, analytical, measurable, tangible. But then you want to ask, okay, how does it feel? Because more often than not, people decide based on emotion. And you heard me probably say a lot of times that people buy with emotion and justify with logic. That's why in testimonials, you want to capture both. Like what surprised you? How does it feel? So you're saying that you got a promotion. How does it feel? Because a lot of times we don't want just the result, we want what comes with that result. It's not that I just want more pay and better job title. It's like, what does it mean for me in my life? It means ta-da-da. So you want to really capture that as well, the emotional part of the result. And finally, you can ask something like, what would you like? What would you say to like the question I usually ask my clients? What would you say to other women who are in a similar path and they are in a similar situation like yourself, but like 1 year before you? What would you say to them? What would you recommend to them? So this is basically your client reflecting on their own journey, on where they were before and what were their hesitations, what were their like points where they were like, well, like it looks good, the program, the offer, shall I really do that? So you want to address that. You kind of guide your clients to that. Those would be a few questions. You don't want to ask too many questions to overwhelm a client. You don't want to kind of give them a big task, but you also want to make sure that you don't just ask them, write me a testimonial. You go a little bit deeper, you guide them. It's your job, if you want to receive a great testimonial, that you provide them the context, you provide them the structure, you make it easier for them. So we kind of have those few questions. And then how do you collect the testimonials? How do you do that? There are a few ways how you can do that, and I will share with you my favorite one. For me, it is doing videos, like little video interview with my client. Why? Because first and foremost, it's on camera and people get to feel your energy. They get to see you. It really like creates trust, builds credibility, creates connection 10 times faster than any written text. It usually you can see right away also the how do you communicate with your client? What's the kind of like the relationship? You can feel that through the video. And that's great. That's amazing. And then when you have the video, you can transcribe it and put it as a blog post on your website. You can take like little snippets of text and use that on your website. So it's kind of like you do just the video. It's easier for your client. Hey, can you come on a 15-minute call with me and share your testimonial? Or share a little bit of your experience about working together. So it's kind of very easy for them to do instead of for them sitting down and thinking, okay, what do I write? How do I answer those questions? It's a little bit more spontaneous, it's more genuine, It's very real because sometimes you also see those written testimonials and you're thinking, is it even real? Has it been written by the coach themselves or it's real? But when you have a video, you can see it right away. Oh, this is so real. I love seeing this woman and had the same questions. I have the same concerns. So I love hearing it in her own words. So video, honestly, the most powerful tool. I would highly recommend as much as you can, especially if you are working with people one-on-one, you work with them personally through small group coaching programs. Absolutely highly recommend video. It's the most powerful tool and it gives you so many different variations how you can use that. You've seen me as well publishing the video on YouTube, then publishing them on the my program pages on the testimonials, and then also chopping them up in Opus Clip with AI in the small reels. So there are so many ways how you can use it to really maximize the use of the testimonials. If the client, for whatever reason, doesn't want to be seen on the video, so sometimes it happens, and that's fine as well. You don't want to pressure anybody to come on a video call if they don't want to. Then you can just send them either a Google form or like a type form that they can fill in with the questions, or I would say email or like simple text message wherever you connect with them on Instagram or LinkedIn, just sending them a quick message with those questions and really telling them like feel free to add whatever you need to add, feel free to like use your own words. I just want to capture your voice. So you can do that. Several ways how you can do that. Okay, and then the way you ask about for a testimonial is you want to speak to the excellence of your client. Basically, you want to make them seem good. You want to put them in the best light. You don't want to put them like, hey, you really struggled with your career before you came working with me. Talk to the women who also struggled in their career. So you don't want to do that. You really want to speak to her excellence, to the amazing results she achieved, to how she's been doing this fantastic work and showing love for herself. So you want to speak to that. You really want to make them really be seen in the best light possible. So you may reach out and acknowledge something like, hey, Anna, it's been so good working with you and I really appreciate what you've achieved and it's been fantastic witnessing your results. It's been fantastic seeing your progress. Would you be open to sharing this transformation to inspire other women? It will be just so valuable. So a lot of times I would speak to the reason why would you want to give the testimonial. On one hand it is obvious, but it will help you improve your business, but this is kind of like goes without saying. You don't want to lead with that. You don't want to lead with the like, hey, can you give me a testimonial so I can get more clients and make more money? You don't want to lead with that. You want to more lead with, I want other women to see what is possible for them. I want other women who are thinking if love is even real, if it's possible to find a husband, if it's possible to make progress in your career, if you're a mom, ta da 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 da. I really want other women to see that. And for majority of people, they will look back at their own journey and they would be happy to do that because they see the power of that. They would think about that. Yeah, I wish 1 year ago somebody told me that it is possible. I wish I saw more of those stories of other women on the same path and who achieved what I want to achieve. So that would empower me to take that step. So that's how you want to frame the whole ask for the testimonial, that it's not just about me and me making more money in my business. It's really about sharing more of those stories, creating more of this ripple effect and empowering women. And this is where it goes back to the whole reason why you're doing what you're doing, the whole why behind your work. And I know for me personally, it is very, very important to empower women, to inspire women. Whatever I'm doing, my why has always been that. So my work has been like slightly different capacities, but it has always been that. Helping women feel more confident, helping women achieve bigger things, helping women live the life that they want. And I was always unapologetic asking for testimonials because I wanted to see more women to see what is possible for them. It's been already a lot what we covered so far. We covered when to ask, how to ask for testimonials, and the shapes and forms, how in which format to ask for those testimonials. And now we're going to go to the final part, is how to present the testimonials, because this is also very powerful, and there are different ways how you can do that, and you really want to be very intentional, very strategic about how to like elevate testimonials from better than nothing to amazing, really needle movers in your business. So you want to ask and you really want to dig a little bit deeper. If you're, especially on a video call with a client, if you're interviewing your client, you want to look for those specific results, something tangible, something quantifiable, like numbers, shifts, decision made, identity level transformation. So you want to look for those specific results and you want to look for intangible results. How did it feel? How did it feel when you achieved that? So you want to look for feelings, clarity, what life feels like now, what work feels now. Like kind of go in a little bit deeper. And when you present the testimonial, you want to highlight the before, during, and after. And it's very important not just to create the screenshot, but to provide the context. This is what I've seen with a lot of my clients. They would usually have some sort of testimonials and they would put on their sales pages, but they would be just text, bunch of text. Ta-da-da. Like Samantha is amazing. Anna is amazing. Ta-da-da. So you want to go more deeper. Okay, Samantha, it's been amazing working with Samantha. What has been specifically amazing? What kind of result they achieved? You want to also provide the context. Who is this person? Because a lot of times the testimonial becomes much more powerful when we really see where it comes from. So it's one way to have a testimonial, which is like, Nina is amazing. She's been a great coach working. We've been working together for 3 months. It's been great. It leaves you hanging, well, okay, versus saying that this is from Amelia, who is this and this coach, who is working in this and this field, who is based here, for example. So a woman who has a similar profile or like from the same country who is doing similar thing, for her, this is immediately a signal that, oh, now this is not like generic testimonial, now it is really relevant for me. So you want to provide a little bit of this context. This will really, it's a very small shift, but this is very powerful. So that's all about the testimonials. You want to encourage them. You want to reflect their brilliance when you invite them to share the testimonial. You want to inspire this next step. You want to make it easy for your client to share the testimonial with you. And use them a lot in everywhere, in your LinkedIn post, in your LinkedIn featured section, on your website, on your sales pages, on your Instagram, pretty much everywhere. There is no such thing as too much of a social proof, too many testimonials. There is no such thing. If you're thinking about like one thing, what about like what I shall generate more of, what I shall post more of? It's literally testimonials, clients' results, clients' stories, all of that. I hope it's been helpful and I hope it gives you a lot of insights. And I'm wishing you the best luck of creating more of those amazing testimonials. And if you have any other specific questions about that, reach back and you can ask. But actually, one thing that just comes to mind to me is about if the topic that you're working on with your clients is very sensitive and a client doesn't want to be mentioned by name and anything like this. So that's fine. And absolutely, if you work with high level people, some of them they would not want to be mentioned specifically, they would not want their name to be used, and that's okay. So you don't include their name, so you can change the name, you can just invent the name, or you invent the name, for example, and then you just share who they are without naming them, basically. So it could be also an anonymous, but it's much more powerful than like instead of like putting a testimonial and then just not signing it with anything or signing with anonymous client. It's better to invent the name like, hey, this is Anna, who is this and that. She's 45 from da da da. So you would not provide any personal detail that would identify the client, but you will still provide the context. So the testimonial becomes much more powerful. And finally, one more thing about testimonials is that so you want to generally ask people for those testimonials, but sometimes it also helps if you offer something in return. Yes, the foundation for testimonials is the great work you've done together, is going above and beyond for your client, being very invested in the results of your client, helping them achieve the results. That's the foundation. But it may also help even more if you offer something in return. So people would appreciate that, and this is what I've done often, not all the time, but it does help to offer a little incentive for people to leave you a testimonial, to provide you maybe more in-depth testimonial, especially if you work with very busy people, and as much as they want to do that for you, it might be just like stressful, another thing on their agenda. So you may want to offer something in return. It could be a valuable resource to them. You need to know your client and what can be valuable for them. At different points, I would offer, for example, something from, so for example, a client would buy one program, but then I would offer them, hey, I would like to invite you in return. I'm happy to offer you like this training from another program, and I know that it's going to be very valuable for them specifically, not like something in general, but for them specifically it's going to be very valuable, so it gives them additional incentive to provide the testimonial. I also offered sometimes a coaching session. So, hey, come on a 30-minute call with me. I would like to interview you about the results that we've created. And then for 15 minutes, and then the rest of the time, I'm happy to help you go through anything that any other new issue that is coming up right now for you. So it's kind of like a win-win for everyone. You get the testimonial, you get the time of your client, and then you also helping them. I love that, and it also helps. So if you've been thinking that, hey, I'm asking people for testimonials and I kind of provide structure and make it easier for them, but somehow they are not doing that. So think about maybe you can do it in a different format. If you've been asking them for written testimonial, for a lot of people, it's just challenging. Maybe you can ask for a video, or maybe you can give them additional incentive. And final thing is that you may do a little deadline. So, hey, I really would like a testimonial or do this little video interview with you. But it's only until the end of the month that I offer the session in return. So just also to provide a little bit of a structure and to capture the testimonial while it's like warm. I hope it's been very helpful. I hope it gives you a lot of context and a lot of actionable tips on how you can create more testimonials for your business, because that's really powerful. And if you haven't watched yet my masterclass on clients and clarity, this is literally how to create a six-figure plus brand and business without hustle, without burnout, without endless content creation, but with a very clear structure on the steps that you need to take and what to focus on. Highly recommend you can just simply go to ninawalter.com/clients to sign up and get instant access. I hope you enjoyed. I wish you a fantastic week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.